Welcome back, everyone, to George James and Associates Research Tools channel. And here we have the final video for the data cleaning mini series. So once again, our anchor column, response order, everything looks good. We've kept our data in the same order because to build the dependent variables and to do the last part of the, before that, to do the last part of the categorical variables, we didn't need to change the order because we just used if-then statements. Before that, when you're converting the characters, the text to the initial variable, you can do nested if-then statements, but it's just really complicated. And if you make any mistake at all, then it's going to give you an error and it's not going to work. And so I'd much rather do it the way that I did and just assign the number, arrange them from lowest to greatest, assign them a number, and then once each one of these has a value, then I go through and do my if-then statements. So that's how I like to do it. And as long as, once again, as long as you have this anchor column, so that way after you do each one of these, and remember, just do one title row. If you have two, collapse them into, or more, collapse them into one. And then once you have that, you freeze it so it won't be sorted when you sort all of these to create your initial variables like industry, service category, and that type of stuff. So yeah, that's the process that we took, and now we're at the very last. So, and for these, just to make it really easy, I know I capitalized them, but also just to make sure. So we have, and let me go back to our model here. So our models, again, we have the first vector of industry, service category. These are variables of interest. And then for the control variables, we have age, gender, race, ethnicity, marital status, education, and the log of income. And that's the same for both of them. It's just that the dependent variables are different. In the first model, it's fraud work. So as workers, did they cheat or they engage in fraud? And here, did they catch the fraud, basically? Or did they allow, I should reword that. Did they allow fraud to perpetrate further into the organization by not catching it? So fraud, yeah, a one for this dichotomous variable means that they perpetrated fraud. Here, a one means really that they ignored the fraud and allowed it to continue. Okay. So I know that I did the little, the uppercase to indicate that they're ready to go. And so what we can do, I'm going to just make this really easy, and I'm going to assign like a bright color, let's say blue. And so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to select for industry, I'm just going to make all these columns blue. So if they're blue, they're coming with us into the next worksheet. So service category, and again, I'm taking all of them. I'm not removing one as a reference category yet because we still have to do our, when we get to the analysis, we're going to do our summary statistics first, which means that we need to have each one of these in there. And then we have service categories, so that I'm going to highlight these. And I'm going to, and again, I just want it to be simple, crystal clear which columns I'm taking. So that's why I'll fill them. And then we have age, that gets filled because we created that from subtracting 2020, their birth year from 2023. Then we have gender, right, which is our dichotomous variable. And then we have race, and this is our next categorical variable. So African American, American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian American, Pacific Islander, Caucasian, and then other. Ethnicity. Then marital status. So married, widowed, divorced, separated, single, prefer not to say. Next is our education variable. That's continuous. That was just in number of formal years. I changed a couple of them to no responses, to missing, basically, because they were either equal to or greater than their age, which is silly. And then here, what I really should have done here is I should have done something like this, log of income, but that's fine. So that's come with us. Okay, and then the next thing that we need to do is we need to take our dependent variables. So that's going to be fraud work. And then our last one is going to be fraud manage as soon as I find out where it went. Oh, this should be fraud manage. Don't want two variables that are named the same thing. That would be bad. All right, awesome. So that's it. Those are all of our variables. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually work our way backwards, sort of. And so do regressions in here. And so, yeah, I prefer these to be kind of next to each other. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to copy this. Now remember, to be safe, what you want to do is copy the values just to be safe. Well, let's see. Can we copy the values? Sure, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether it kind of doesn't matter if the colors come with them or not. And we can also color these differently in the other one if we want to, just to be fancy. And then fraud work. So remember, we're just copying the values at this point. Actually, what we can do here is we can say, we can do this because we have two different ones. So you can just do, and what I'm going to do here, actually, this is going to be fraud managed. I'll do it this way. I'm going to delete this because what I'm going to wind up doing is copying this over. I'm just doing a little bit less work for myself. So right now I'm going to leave this in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our, yeah, that's fine. I can just kind of work backwards. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's up to you. It really kind of is up to the researcher because do we want to keep them in the exact same order? We can do it that way. So we can do industry service category. We can do that actually. Yep. So then we're going to copy these and we're going to do the values once again. Go. And we're going to just hold down shift and we're going to just, there we go, make them a little bit easier to read. Now for these, I will center these. I know I didn't do it in the other one, in the initial sheet, but I will center these once we're done. Okay, next, copy these over. Yep, just a little bit more. God, some of these variable names are just like so long. Yeah, I try to get everything like on one page, but with these, unless I'm going to wrap the text, these are just so long. It's fine. Age and gender are next. And then got this. So race. Now remember, I'm going to have to do a little bit more work. Not very much, but I'm going to have to do a little bit more work after we run the summary statistics, because then I'm going to start collapsing these for the purposes of regression. But for summary statistics, it's fine to keep them like this. Actually, you should keep them like that. Okay, ethnicity, that one's easy. You're either Hispanic or you're not. Right? There's no like quasi-Hispanic ethnicity or whatever. Okay, and then marital status and education, and then log of income. So we'll do that one last. And then, yeah, let's increase these a little bit. It's so ridiculous how long these are. Okay. And then, yeah, and then I think this is it, right? Log of income is the last thing. Okay, so now what I do is I highlight the entire thing and I will center these. Yep. to make them look a little nicer. The first, I like doing the first row is always, 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 always the dependent variable, just to make it easy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy this, move to the end, create a copy. So this will say copy, but it's going to be fraud work. And in fact, this is actually going to go because we did the worker first. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the end, almost the end, rather. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this over to fraud work. There we go. So this should be fraud work, and it lines up with fraud work, and it was taken directly from our fraud work variable. And then fraud manage is going to be fraud manage. So there we go. Okay, so this should be all the fraud work, and these are different. Yeah, as you can see, just look at the first column. These are a little bit different. All right, that's basically it. We now have everything that we need to do to start. I mean, I have to go download the software because this is a new computer, but yeah, that's basically it. This has been a mini video series about how to clean data in Excel. And don't forget also to continue to save the files at each step. So now that I have the regression, so they're regression ready. This one was pre-regression ready. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to save as, and then this is just going to be regression ready, or RR. So cleaned RR, which means it's well, not quite regression ready, but I should probably have said like summary statistics or something. So I'll probably do that now. I'll probably actually just go here and say like summary statistics. That's what SS stands for. And then I'll delete that. And then once I run this summary statistics, then what I'll do, or I'll just create new worksheets over here, new tabs, and then I will hold back. I'll delete all the reference categories. So, all right, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, turn on alerts, and we'll see you next time.